Let yourself feel the fear. Fucking hell. This came to me. It's okay. You're allowed to be scared.
In 2003, I chose a bizarre way to end my long-term opiate addiction. A psychedelic plant root called Iboga helped me quit methadone once and for all.
Oh. Oh, God, this is a strange substance.
I wanted to find out more about Iboga and work out whether it truly was a magic bullet to cure drug addiction. Over 3 years, I followed various addicts, treatment providers, and medical professionals who would hopefully give me the answer.
Most active drug users cannot come out.
You know, when you're on your arse and you're saying, my life's in tatters, my career's fucked, I feel worthless.
The level I've tried to do is try and get clean and stay clean. It's so fucking hard.
And I'm going to be doing some magic and it's going to be good.
You're here now, you've done it. There's no going back.
Look, look, look! Look, he's having a seizure. He's having a seizure. They thought I'm hiding dead bodies in my garden.
It doesn't want you to die, it wants you to live.
It seems to me that it's the last chance saloon.
This is the mid-80s. I'm experimenting with film and experimenting with drugs. Quite seriously, in fact. Serious enough to get myself a drug habit that would permeate my life for many years to follow. I had become aimless and felt empty. Crushing depressions marring my existence. I was drawn to the offbeat lifestyle of serious drug addicts, seeing it like a dark cult. I searched for something to alleviate my inner turmoil, and for a while, it actually seemed to work. I felt part of something, a junkie subculture that was dark and foreboding, but somehow exciting at the same time. I'd been a heroin user for a relatively short part of my drug-using career. For most of the 17 years or so, I had opted for the government-approved method of opiate replacement therapy, methadone. I was firmly ensconced on this drug, which seemed like a godsend at first.
That green liquid keeps me together. That is what keeps me together.
But after a few years, I wanted off the stuff. The hellish withdrawal always got the better of me though, and I felt trapped in the world of the legal junkie.
This is methadone withdrawal. Oh hell, I hate it. If this is day 3, you imagine day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. And you know it isn't going to get any better. It's going to get worse, and the dreams and the visions and the pain of walking and talking and being, just being alive is a complete and utter chore. Being alive just doesn't seem worth it.
My brother had told me about a supposed wonder drug that seemed to be the real answer to my problems. Forest-dwelling people in Gabon, who followed the Bwiti religion, have used the psychedelic root bark of the Iboga plant for hundreds of years in a rite of passage ceremony. It was also quickly gaining a reputation in the West as a magic bullet to end addiction. I researched the subject intensely and came to believe that this bizarre substance could not only kill off the major withdrawal symptoms, which had always been a stumbling block for me, but could also initiate some psycho-spiritual experience and help me learn about aspects of my behaviour. A true catharsis, perhaps. Could I finally quit my methadone habit through one arduous psychedelic trip? But Iboga detox has been linked to several deaths. Documentary maker may film his own death. These Sunday newspaper articles are pretty lurid. This is really concentrating on the very slight chance that I could be filming my own death. It might seem crazy, but I know what I'm doing. Part of becoming a ghost. And when I come out of this and take it off, I'm no longer the ghost that I was. I'm not a methadone ghost anymore. And that's the idea. Okay, you might as well just get him. The psychoactive alkaloid of this plant I used is known as Iboga, and in its more raw form as Iboga. Here we go. Oh God, this is a... The detox trip was 36 hours of soul-searching hell. I journeyed back into primitive states and saw myself from a different vantage point, some of it terrifying and some of it very enlightening. Light and sound were being affected. The noise of the underground trains became amplified into squadrons of fighter aircraft flying through the roof of my skull. I felt the approach of something huge, something menacing perhaps. I then experienced a complete atomic breakdown. Deeper and deeper I went. Complex information was imprinted within my atomic structure. It related to life in the primordial swamp. And then it started to wear off after many hours, and I was back from the brink of complete cerebral annihilation. But somehow refreshed and renewed. Thank God. The intensity is over. Yeah. My withdrawal symptoms from the drug I was addicted to were almost completely gone. I even got back to a normal sleep pattern fairly quickly. I truly felt elated that I'd beaten the habit. I'd gone through one of the most intensely grueling but defining moments of my life. This psychedelic therapy certainly seemed to work wonders for me. With Detox or Die getting a UK national broadcast, and then going global via other TV networks and the internet, I was fast amassing many testimonials from struggling addicts who'd been influenced by the film to do their own Ibogaine treatment. Dear David, just wanted to say thank you. Detox or Die was incredible and has really pushed me towards sorting out my own opiate addiction. David, I want you to know that I'm going for Iboga treatment, and I saw your movie Detox or Die as the only real proof that it can work. In my city, your video is famous and really being used in good ways to scare off youngsters from trying heroin. Thank you for making this film. This is an issue that needs more press and more discussion. Your film was the start of the journey that led me to Ibogaine. I watched heroin. I had unwittingly become a spokesperson for the stuff, whether I liked it or not. Having never used drugs at all. I even had a former user from Wales who had successfully done an Ibogaine detox after watching my film come all the way up to Scotland to pay homage to me with a street performance loosely based on Bwiti rituals.
What would you call that? What would you call that? Are we saying that this is Bwiti style or inspired by the Bwiti people, the Bwiti religion rather? Is that right?
4 stone cleansing.
Yeah.
4 stone cleanse ritual, whatever.
4 stone cleanse.
4 stone cleanse. I just made it up.
What the fuck are you on about?
I don't know, fucking hell.
It was 10 years since I'd quit my methadone habit. I've used small doses of Iboga on the rare occasions when I thought I might relapse, and it definitely helped stabilise me. Were there other alternatives to finding stability, though? I'd heard of some users who were provided with clean, legally prescribed heroin and morphine. Elliot works with an organisation supporting the human rights of drug users around the globe. He's also on prescribed morphine.
What we are talking about... Yeah, would you like what's inside?
I like boxes, I like to see what's inside. That is some sort of...
This is a syringe of morphine sulfate.
Of morphine sulfate, which will kill you immediately.
No, I inject it 3 times a day, and I'm
really?
not dead.
Oh, well, I presume wrong.
You do.
Really?
I mean, London has 33 boroughs.
Yeah.
Only about 3 of them prescribe diamorphine.
Right, so...
And at the moment, I've been hearing that some people are trying to be forced off their diamorphine scripts, even though there's just been a trial which has been extremely successful. Replicated results they found across Europe. They're prescribing pure diamorphine to regular heroin users. It's extremely successful. They make massive benefits and gains in their health, in reductions in their criminal activity. It's generally beneficial to them and to society at large. Most active drug users cannot come out if they're working, if they have responsible jobs.
Yeah.
They cannot come out publicly as a drug user because they will lose their jobs. It's as simple as that. You know, when I was a university lecturer, I could not have come out as a regular heroin user. I would have lost my job straight away. I mean, all the research that's been done shows that there are enormous, very substantial numbers of people who are regular heroin users who live an otherwise normal life. They maintain jobs, they have a family life, they live their lives, they pay taxes, they're ordinary citizens, apart from the fact that they use heroin.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and take my shots in the toilet.
Perhaps legal heroin was a viable option, but for obvious reasons was a bit of a political hot potato. With few doctors or clinics willing to prescribe such a controversial medication, addicts' options were limited. Perhaps Iboga is the answer. There were some doctors who actually did Ibogaine treatments.
I'm talking to you from Miami Beach, Florida, where I have a very active medical practice. I'm a medical physician licensed in the United States. And I've done approximately 1,900 treatments myself, personally supervised treatments myself all over the world. So what is Ibogaine? Ibogaine is an addiction interrupter. It's a facilitator. It offers a window of opportunity for quick and easy opiate withdrawal. Ibogaine can accomplish in 24 hours what it might take me 90 days to do. The morning after Ibogaine, they will feel as well as they would feel 90 days into a cold turkey withdrawal. Now that's nothing short of a miracle, David. This is the most important discovery in the history of addiction medicine as far as opiate dependence in the history of the planet, without a doubt. Ibogaine, I believe, at some point in time, will be the mainstay of the treatment for opiate dependence. It's going to happen. It has to happen because it works that well.
Dr. Camlett was very convincing, but is Ibogaine truly a magic bullet for drug addiction, or just a strong placebo? I owed it to myself and the many desperate addicts contacting me to find out more about the drug and its true potential. I wanted to meet the best known Ibogaine provider in the world. Sarah Glatt in Holland had treated close to 1,000 people. Her home had even become known as the Iboga House. If anyone knew how truly effective Ibogaine was, then it would be Sarah. When I arrived at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, there were already some new clients with her who were looking for treatment.
Hi.
A girl from Australia had a long-established addiction to morphine for a back injury, and 2 heroin users from Glasgow.
Nice to meet you too.
Lovely to meet you.
I've bought a lot of meth, but I wouldn't take a script. My doctor was trying to encourage me to take a script before I come over here, rather than waste my money and throwing it away on Iboga.
And I'm going to be doing some magic, and it's going to be good.
About an hour's drive from Amsterdam, we eventually arrived at Sarah's house, where she lived with her 2 daughters and son.
Anything else you like?
How many years have you been doing this?
11.
How many, do you get any rough idea how many you've treated?
I think 900 people.
900?
Mm-hmm. Especially the last 5 years, it was really busy. I treated lots of people, average of 2 each week, but sometimes even 4 or 5.
What got you into this, doing these treatments? What started you?
Well, the knowledge. I got to know in my own trip that I got the knowledge to do it. That I could do it.
You did Iboga.
Yeah. And in my trip, I got a vision that I should give it to other people because they could benefit a lot of it.
How are you feeling?
Pretty nervous. I had an accident almost 14 years ago. I fell off a 5-story building and fractured everything in my body. Suffer from degenerative chronic pain, and my bones are kind of, breaking away, I guess, falling apart. I was never actually even told they were giving me opiates. I didn't know I had a habit for 2.5 years.
Really?
Yeah, and then I discovered it, and it kind of, everything made sense why I couldn't remember, why I had cigarette burns in my clothes, why I was just nodding off all the time.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but it was a bit late by then.
A legal junkie?
Yeah, pretty much. This is my poison. 24-hour release morphine and Valium. That's 1 week's worth minus 2 doses. I've weaned down from 500 to 100. It's taken me 7 years.
Within an hour of arrival, the treatment sessions start. Ian takes a test dose of Iboga.
Two minutes. You took it 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes?
Right.
2 minutes?
2 minutes ago. And you already see that he's changing his reaction.
You can feel something already?
Yeah, cramps are going away.
And this is just the test dose?
Yes.
Have you seen this working as fast before?
Yeah. Many times.
You're here now, you've done it. There's no going back. You've made that choice, mate.
You only need to take a little bit, and you can still eat and drink and sleep and do everything you want to do.
Yeah.
You just don't have cravings to use, and you don't have the withdrawals. Easy.
Here we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blessing is what I'm about to receive.
Hi, David. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry.
Carla was a Dutch heroin addict who had had a successful media career, but her habit had become too much for her.
Scare you in any way at all?
Well, you know, I'm in a
you?
position where I'm just so tired of everything that I just don't know what to do anymore, you know? It's like life or death, and there's no middle way anymore. I don't know, I was a little bit scared when I was coming here in the train. What about if I don't survive it? What about if I die in between in the treatment?
You won't die.
No, people were I wrote to some place in another country, and then they said, no, you cannot do it, you're too skinny, you're underweight, you're too this, you're too that, you're gonna die.
They said about Macron's disease.
When I took the capsules, I was getting cramps. I was starting to sweat, starting to shake.
Yeah.
Feeling cold, cramp, the usual. I just took my cramps away in 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
2 minutes. I felt myself stomping to scratch, stomping to squeeze
And
my
you
legs.
don't think it was like a placebo thing, you know?
Well, I try to justify it to myself. I was like, is this human willpower over something, or is there something happening?
Yeah.
Well, I've been lying spaced for the last 2 hours. Just pure spaced out.
In a good
Get up,
way?
get in a good way.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's saying goodbye to a good old friend.
It's been such a long, hard road.
Like becoming self-aware of yourself again.
Yes,
You
yes.
see the person you used to be, and you're like, right, that's what I'm trying to hold on in. Hold on now. Your mind's recognising the fact that it's working,
Yeah.
rather than being in a constant stupor every day.
Yes.
For 23 hours a day, chasing the dragon. Because you don't concentrate on anything apart from getting your gear.
Yes.
Kids going to school and getting fed, and that's dead easy. It's getting the gear that's hard.
How is it going? Getting chills?
Not really feeling withdrawally anymore though.
Oh. Not feeling withdrawals anymore. Fine.
It's amazing. It's quite novel.
5 capsules to start.
Good luck with this, Carla.
Thank you.
And,
Good luck.
yeah, I mean, all the best.
Yeah, good luck.
L'chaim,
Thank you.
Molotov.
I'm in good hands.
Ian, 6 hours into treatment. Are you tripping?
Oh, probably.
Will you be able to swallow another 2 right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want 2 capsules?
Yeah.
That's it.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later, Carla. Do you think this one will be pretty straightforward?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be really good.
Just trying to see. You're quite happy with how they're doing?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's complaining.
And you must have seen so many things, so many reactions over those years.
Mm-hmm.
And this is nothing
No, it's not.
for these guys.
No,
Okay.
not nothing. It's not nothing, but it's easy. Yeah, it's easy. It's easier than any other way.
Yes.
Otherwise, they'd be sick. They're not sick.
Why is it you feel a need to work with drug addicts?
I knew drug addicts from the squad. I was squatting, you know. I knew drug addicts, and they were miserable people. It was a horrible, horrible life. Always shaking, always needs money for the drugs. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my duty here, to make it as easy as possible.
Day 2, 20 hours after starting treatment.
I gave him more than his friend. He got 6 capsules totally.
He's totally delirious.
Yeah, he's totally. It's enough, you know.
Yeah.
No need to overdo it.
Do you think he's quite enjoying that?
Yeah, he was smiling every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's okay. He's enjoying it.
So despite the fact it looks a bit weird, it doesn't necessarily mean he's not enjoying it.
Oh. He could be seeing his children walking around or somebody he knows. I'm going to give Eleanor another capsule because she was complaining, having a bit of backache.
Yeah.
All the water. Oh yeah.
So is that withdrawal or is that a...
The Iboga is
The
cleaning,
Iboga?
yeah, detoxifying him.
Yeah. I see. Gee whiz, that looks just as bad as heroin withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
But if they were going through
Heroin withdrawals, it was all the time.
it'd be a lot worse.
A lot worse. I keep it simple. And everyone is different, so everyone get what they need.
You see people coming here withdrawing for years.
Yeah, so why would we do for fun have a sniff of cocaine or ecstasy? It's not interesting.
So you've never had an interest in doing drugs at all?
No, not really. And for the same for my sister and my brother. I think my younger sister and brother also would never be interested.
And it doesn't bother you seeing like really hardened junkies coming here
No.
for treatment? It doesn't bother you at all?
No, we're used to it, so it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
most of the time they're friendly people. So, and it's nice to see they come really looking bad and feeling bad, and then end of the week they have a smile on their face. It's really nice. You see it.
Yeah.
Or they get some color in their skin. It's really a difference before and after. So it's nice.
What?
I saw you in the kitchen.
Yeah, I just came to get some chewing gum.
To chewing gum, so you're not even lying in bed.
No.
And you were only here two days ago?
No, yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yesterday we started.
You know exactly what withdrawal will be like. I mean, you've gone through withdrawal before.
Yeah, many times. Yeah, I wouldn't be sitting here so calmly on a bed now, I think.
No.
I would be yelling here in bed, or I'll be already on the street looking for something, I think. I wouldn't be sitting the next day like this. This should be the worst day, the second day.
Yeah.
Second,
And look
third
at you.
day.
There's no tremor in your legs.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, it is. This is what I'm doing it for.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so far away, they don't notice. You know, it can happen. Not
Yeah.
always, but it can happen. You should consider them like young babies. They are not in control at this point.
You know, when I took the Iboga, I don't remember being out of it like that.
No, but
No.
everyone reacts different. I had a girl who was out of it for 5 days.
Really?
Yeah, and we had to feed her and to give her to drink, and she couldn't remember anything. Look, look, look! Look, he's having a seizure. He's having a seizure. Paul!
Ian, 40 hours after taking Iboga.
He's not having a seizure.
No?
No, he's just panicking.
Breathe.
David, turn it off, please. Will you turn it off, please?
I need to give you more oxygen just to make I saw people fainting before, but like that.
Eleanor, 40 hours after starting treatment.
I understand that language. She's having Paris milk on tea.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, let me get this sorted out for you.
Can you talk? Is he still tripping? Ian? Ian? Hello? Yeah, but do you think it's going to help you in the end? Quit?
I hope so. I hope that I couldn't do it, I could do this and fall back on it.
It worked. I didn't expect to feel so worn out afterwards, but what do you expect? You know, all the toxins coming out of your body and...
You really feel like it's a new life?
Yep.
Yeah?
Well, if you think about it, I'm 32 and I had my accident when I was 18, so I've never been an adult without opiates until now.
You've been out of it for 3 days.
Yeah.
Totally tripping for 3 days. Do you remember any of it?
No, can't remember any of it.
Nothing?
No.
How are you feeling over there, Paul? Paul? Two of the treatments had gone really well. Eleanor got rid of the rest of her medication. Carla went away with a smile on her face. She had sailed through a seemingly painless withdrawal from heroin. Iboga seemed to have worked amazingly well. But Paul and Ian were still struggling with their detox, so Sarah gave them more capsules.
Okay, keep it in.
You're not going to go back to it.
If you're going to use, you'll die. Your body is not so strong.
Yeah.
No.
I know that.
You'll die if you do it, because you're clean.
I took a break from the Iboga house to reassess my feelings. My own treatment was pretty heavy going at first, but relatively easy compared to what I just witnessed. When I returned, I see an ambulance parked outside. Ian stopped breathing and the paramedics had been called.
This is the hospital.
Yeah. He's waking up. Ian. Okay.
Goodbye, buddy. Bye. I had to travel back to the UK. I honestly thought that was the last I'd see of Ian alive. Ian?
Oh dear.
On one level, Iboga had seemed to work very effectively, but on another, it seemed to be potentially lethal. How could I be a spokesman for such a dangerous treatment? If I ended the film here, it just... Well, I don't think it would look too good for Iboga treatment. So I'm going to continue. I'll continue. I wanted to speak to some other people who had used Iboga or Ibogaine to quit an addiction.
The doctor's going to come and get you. So please give it up for Sebastian Hosley.
Sebastian Horsley was a decadent London writer, artist and outrageous dandy.
Good evening.
He'd seen my film back in 2004 and had done an Ibogaine treatment to help get off a crack and heroin habit. It certainly seemed to have helped him for a short while at least.
I'll either commit suicide or be dead at 45 because I'll have said all there is to say.
He'd agreed to do an interview with me about his Ibogaine experience. I met up with him at a party in London the night before the interview. He seemed very agitated. This out-of-focus photograph I took was probably the last one of him alive. He was found dead the next day. A lethal cocktail of heroin, crack, painkillers and downers, mixed down with some fine red wine. Instead of conducting an interview, I was soon attending a funeral. It seemed another nail in the coffin for the long-term efficacy of Ibogaine. Mickey was another offbeat character I found in the Notting Hill area of London. He'd taken Iboga and had managed to stay 7 years clean. Even though he'd ended up back on a heroin substitute prescription, it did seem that Iboga had helped him in the past. 7 years was a fair amount of time to be free of addiction.
Like weird fucking shrines and, you know, just kind of things put together. Like you can see the teeth out the jaw. That was off one of the murdered victims in the cave. That's my pet cat.
That was your cat?
Poor thing died.
And you had it stuffed?
I cleaned it. I cleaned it and cured it.
Yeah.
So she's still here. Ow!
So you've had some huge habits. I mean,
I've had huge habits. I've also had some very minuscule, pathetic habits.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose we all have.
Some pretty weird stuff you got around here, Mickey.
Yeah. I was on methadone amps, 50mm methadone amps.
Injectable methadone?
Injectable methadone, right. 50mm amps. I was on 6 of those a day. And I was on another 100ml of Ficeptone pills. And 20 dexedrine speed a day.
Yeah.
Plus Rohypnol. I was on about half a dozen a day. I managed to get a chunk of Ibogaine. It was before they actually had the hydrochloride. It was a basic bark root Ibogaine. Didn't know what I was taking, how much. Chucked a lump down my throat. I swallowed it about 1.5 miles away from here on a hot summer's day. By the time I got to Support of Bella, which is about half a mile up the road, it came on fucking strong. On the third day I came out of it, there were no withdrawals. I just felt very tired. I was able to start sleeping straight away. And I felt good. I had it felt like there was no rhyme or reason to take junk. And that for me was amazing. I think certain psychedelics and psychotropic drugs, chemicals, can help us change ourselves. It can open up a part of ourselves which over the years we've lost.
Perhaps there was something to what Mickey said. Psychedelics, such as Iboga, may have healing properties worthy of serious investigation.
It's better than giving them a longer-term analgesic.
Was there any interest in Ibogaine from the medical establishment? I went to a specialist conference where I spoke to Dr. Ben Sesson, who was currently doing research into psychedelic therapy.
I think the field of addictions and psychiatry and addictions and psychedelic drugs is very closely linked, and a massive amount of work that went on in the 50s and 60s with LSD as an agent for treating addictions. And it's an area that absolutely needs to be researched. We know that Ibogaine is useful because we can look at the epidemiological evidence and the cross-cultural evidence that in West Africa it's used for this reason, and it's very successful. The trouble is that modern medicine and modern science, we need to have a evidence-based data approach. So although it might have been used for thousands of years in other cultures, unfortunately that doesn't mean anything to modern Western medicine until we carry out the studies. I think that the underground work that goes on is interesting, but I would be concerned about it because are there the right safeguards in place? Are the right quality control standards in place? How do we know that there's the right support systems? So I think the underground work is probably very beneficial and can be positive in some ways, but my real aim is to bring these drugs into the mainstream.
Very little interest from mainstay science about Ibogaine, and why? Because all studies that are done at major universities are funded by big drug companies, and no big drug company wants to fund a drug that's going to take their patients off the drugs that they're making money from already. They make billions of dollars of selling pain pills. Why would we want to come up with a drug that people take once and cuts into our profits? That's it in a nutshell. This is if Iboga could turn a profit for Big Pharma, it would be here next year legalized in the United States.
I was still hoping to witness a truly miraculous treatment. I went to meet the man who was seriously considering an Iboga detox. I have never met this man before, but... Is that Bradley?
Hi.
Hey!
Hi.
There you go, mate. What have you taken today?
I've had 2 bags of brown and 2 white, 2 rocks.
2 rocks?
Yeah. Like speedball, hit up, you know.
You shoot them? You shoot them together?
Yes, I shoot them together, yeah.
You used all that?
Yes.
He got so wasted he did bizarre things like drinking paint and shoplifting items he had no use for. He knew he had to change.
Well, what did it for me was there was this, in the late 80s, early 90s, my generation of friends all started to be afflicted by this terrible drug, heroin. I, at the time, was on the opposite end of that. I had a partnership in a gymnasium. Now, I was taking drugs of a different nature, like anabolic and androgenic steroids. At the time, because it was all in the name of looking great and vanity and all the rest of it and being bronzed and cut and all the rest of it and bulk, I didn't see any problem with that, and I certainly didn't realise I was a drug addict at that point. All my friends around me, my peers around me, were dropping like flies and becoming addicted to this stuff. And I had such a cocky, arrogant attitude. I remember the first time I snatched the foil off a guy and I said, "Let's see what all the fuss is about. And I'll tell you something now." And I really believed it at the time. That stuff will never do what it's done to you, to me.
How do you feel now?
Just relief. All those hard fucking angular corners are just rounded off. You know, life, sharpness of it, the angles, aggressive, pointing, fucking... and this is just like taking away all those fucking aggressive angles, the way I perceive the world. You know.
So this is where Iboga came in, that you saw that as an attractive option. And that's now something you want to do. You really want to do this.
Yes, yes.
You know that there are risks with it.
I do know people have died from it, but you know, I'll have a full cardiogram, get my bike out, start, you know, eating good and get myself geared up towards that place. And I'm sure to God, my goodness, with the drugs I've put inside me and the levels and amounts of drugs I've taken over the years, they never took me out. If Iboga took me out, then maybe it was meant to be that way, I don't know. But it seems to me that it's the last chance saloon. You know, when you're on your arse and you're saying my life's in tatters, my career's fucked, nobody believes a word I say, you know, I'm seen as being like, you know, a junkie, and I feel worthless, and I'm so isolated from society, and you know, when you hit that point, Well, for me anyway, when I hit that point, I knew that there was work that needed to be done. Bloody filters, I've got to get some filters for this thing. Come on in. I normally send Richard out so as to evade getting tangled up in this world of junk, which is...
Bradley's mate Richard soon appeared with even more gear.
You all right, Richard?
Yeah. £10 worth of heroin, £10 worth of crack cocaine.
£10 worth of heroin and £10 worth of crack in there.
Yeah.
And how long will that keep you together?
The actual initial high of it maybe only 30, 40 seconds, but then it has that lingering effect because the crack wears off quite quick and then leaves you with the brown, the heroin effect. So
do you shoot in the groin?
Yeah, I do.
All right. If you want to
because
just keep
they're
that.
gone. You know.
Right. If you want to go and do that in the toilet.
Thank you.
Okay.
There seemed to be a continual movement in and out the flat to find money through pawning goods or waiting for benefit checks, all to score more brown and white.
Right, we're going to walk down into King's Cross here, just to the cash machine.
Hi Leon, it's Richard. Can you do me 2 and 2?
So you got your stuff?
Yes.
Can you show me what it looks like?
So £10 worth of heroin.
Is the heroin, what is it? Do they colour coordinate them?
Yeah.
So what, the heroin's always in a blue one? Or generally?
Generally, yeah.
Abstinence is my goal, you know. I wish I could get abstinent again. And it's easy when you're all loaded and you're all brave, but when you're not, and the wolves are fucking knocking, then you got problems, you know. It's very frightening. I run my whole life, and existence runs on fear, you know. And there we are. Yeah, it's a sad old existence. But there we have it, you know. You get up the next day and it's like this. You're on loop. Fucking Groundhog Day.
It certainly was like Groundhog Day. 6 hours later, they were doing it all over again.
Start in the day.
This is, what time is this?
5:10 a.m.
Why is this happening so early? What happened?
Well, we have a dealer that comes on at this time.
A what?
A dealer comes on at this time.
A dealer comes on?
Yeah, it just starts at 5 a.m. because there's no one else around.
And are you going to go back to sleep?
Yeah.
There was another entire story to Richard, though. I was surprised to learn he'd worked at Buckingham Palace as one of the Queen's footmen.
My mum's got great pictures of me, like riding on the back of the Irish state coach through the state opening of Parliament, and riding down the course at Royal Ascot and things like that.
Yeah.
And then you compare that to what I'm doing right now.
Footman for the Queen? Is that, what do you call it?
That's what I was. I was the Queen's footman.
The Queen's footman?
Yeah.
Is there only one?
There's 2, but only one ever works at any one time. And basically you look after her dogs, you record her races.
Record her races?
Yeah, you lay up the table for breakfast.
Corgis, you're looking after the corgis.
They're not all corgis, half of them are dorgies. She calls them dorgies because
Oh, really? That's good.
Princess Margaret's dash home got in with the corgis a few years ago. It was Princess Diana that actually gave me the idea to join the royal household in the first place.
I was too much into Manchester.
What do you mean?
When I was at school,
Yes.
I did a work experience at Amos House in Acton, and Diana was patron of Turning Point, the charity.
All right.
And she visited while I was doing my 2-week work experience.
Turning
I asked for her autograph.
Really?
She told me give my address to her lady in waiting, and I got a letter through the post saying the princess would very much like to meet me again. So I went to Kensington Palace, and I was with her for about 20 minutes in her sitting room at Kensington Palace.
All right.
And she said, when you get to be 18, you might be interested in the job of footman in the royal household. And I did that for a year, and then got promoted to Queen's footman.
It's an incredible life.
Yeah.
Or
After
was.
3 years, I got my certificate as a footman, which what you get after 3 years, you get a certificate to certify that I'd done the job and everything. And so I decided to go somewhere else where I wouldn't be repeating every single year. Every single year I wouldn't be doing the same round of Balmoral, Sandringham, Windsor, blah, 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 round and round and round.
Does it not feel quite weird then? I know you don't want me to film you doing this, but
Go on, ask.
does it not feel weird to have had that life amongst such affluence and now be living in a hostel,
Oh
shooting
my
up
God.
crack and heroin and taking methadone?
I can't tell you how it feels like such a fall. Honestly, my address used to be Footman's Floor, Buckingham Palace. It's now St Mungo's, King's Cross. You know.
Could you have not knocked it in the head at an early stage?
Maybe I could have done it in the last 3 years, yes. But only now am I truly even thinking about it.
Yeah. Do you think hitting 30 is going to be like a milestone, or
I think
you might
yeah.
just say, like, I need to knock this in the head?
I think, yeah, I'll probably do some thinking.
Are you married? Is that a marriage ring?
No. That's
What
the
is
ring.
that?
That's the ring someone gave me earlier on for lending them some money.
Yeah, because in the hostel they know each other's paydays, of course, and they know it's his payday, so they wouldn't have bloody left him alone.
So I got hassled. Yeah.
A gold ring?
Yeah. Right, I'm going to get some fresh air.
Okay,
see you
Richard.
later, yeah?
Alright,
Yeah, see you later, man.
Rich. Thanks for coming.
Take care, Richard.
Bye.
So you had your early morning hits
Yeah,
of,
few pipes,
yeah.
little bit of wine, brown.
But you get much else done in the day. I mean, it seems to be a lot of shooting up and smoking pipes and shit.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
do you do anything else? Do you actually manage to get anything done? Is it all, your whole day?
of late, not really, no.
So your whole day is taken up with this,
Yeah,
Right.
either this or just sitting around.
waiting for it.
Well, just not doing anything, not functioning as a human being. Yeah. There is hope, and I do hope, well, I will get out of this and live my life as it should, as I should be living it. I'm perfectly aware that I'm harming myself and my mental health's not that great at the moment. I feel a shell, a ghost. But, you know, there is a way, and I aim to get out of it.
I decided to show Bradley some of the footage I'd shot in Holland. He had to know what he was letting himself in for.
Hi. Good day. Ian? Oh dear.
What do you think?
Very interesting. Without a doubt, I believe in the substance.
That's not put you off?
No, that hasn't put me off. If I can come out of that feeling, hey, this is not so bad, I have a good starting, a foundation block in which to build on.
I really felt Iboga could help Bradley. He certainly needed something to break his destructive addiction. We decided to meet up again soon when he was ready to do his treatment. I got a phone call from Sarah to say that Ian had survived and had made it back to Glasgow. I couldn't believe he was alive and had to get over to see how he was. The treatment had failed though, and Ian and Paul were back using again.
See, when I saw you, I actually thought you weren't going to pull through. I thought you were a dead
Well,
man. You looked like a guy that actually was on his last legs.
Well, see, when I had to go for this exercise bike to try and pass this test to get out of the hospital, that's what that's the only nurse that told me. She was like, you're a very lucky lad, Mr. Wilson. She was like, we didn't think you were going to make it. I didn't realise I was that bad.
Yes.
I didn't realise I was that close to death.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Frightening.
It seemed that Ian had an underlying heart condition that had almost proved fatal when Iboga was ingested.
What have you been doing?
This is one of the issues with Iboga and Ibogaine. They can seriously slow the heart rate, leading to cardiac arrhythmia and the possibility of total heart failure. The shock of his near-fatal reaction had disturbed his friend Paul so much that he went back on heroin too. I'd heard about an Irish massage therapist who died after taking Iboga in Gabon quite recently, and a London doctor who'd been struck off for administering the drug to a sex addict. Some sordid stories were coming out, but much worse was to come. I got a call from Sarah's daughter Daphne, telling me she'd thought her mother had been arrested over a client's death. I immediately got on a plane to Holland to find out what happened.
This place here, this highway, the guy was at the hotel.
Yeah.
And in the night at 4 o'clock, he walked up the high road here.
Yes.
And he was run over.
Just here, this round here.
A client left after the second day of treatment, walked onto the motorway, and was killed by a truck. The police blamed Sarah for irresponsible treatment of the man and letting him leave while under the influence of Iboga.
So you were a bit concerned about Sarah maybe being arrested by the police. We don't know what we're going to go back to at the house.
No, Sarah doesn't answer her phone. And I got an emergency text message from the lawyer to go to Sarah's house and wait until my brother comes home.
Okay.
Yeah, here. Hey. Sarah left a note.
Yeah.
That she went to the police and we have to call the lawyer.
I was desperate to find out if Sarah was in jail, and if so, when she would be released.
Okay.
I tried ringing her lawyer.
Well, we'll hope for...
He tells me she'll be released soon.
Yeah.
But with a manslaughter charge hanging over her, I wasn't so sure.
Yeah.
It turns out we didn't have to wait too long. She was released from prison the next day.
I can't believe it. You walked how far away is that place?
Well, I don't know, 2.5, 3 kilometers. I am not allowed from them to do anything anymore.
Any treatments?
No treatments, no Iboga in my hands, no people in my house, nothing.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I'm here. Otherwise, I would not be here.
That's it, finished here then?
That I'm finished, yeah. Here.
Right.
So that's what we need to do at the moment. We need to
get witnesses.
Yeah.
As many as possible. Okay.
50 will do, or 80. Anyway, a representative category of people that have been treated by you and that can testify in court about you as a person, about the treatment with Iboga. And I'm very positive and confident that we will, in the end, win this case.
You know who he was talking to? To the television news.
What about the money situation?
Yeah, I have to organize that.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. But I'm sure I'll get the
Did you
help.
say 20,000 euros?
23,000 euro. But so I have to get people to help me right now.
Yeah.
So let's go. I'm glad that there are very positive people as well who want to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I always help everybody, but now maybe it's the time that someone will help me.
Sarah had been interviewed by journalists, and now her photo was splashed all over the press. She was unhappy about the way the media had called her a witch
That's my
doctor,
picture from yesterday.
and even felt some of the articles were anti-Semitic towards her.
That's you in Calamero.
Yeah. I have to give my passport to the police because they don't want me to run away. Okay?
Think I can come in?
Yeah, why not? And how filmed would I do?
I thought you were joking there.
No, you saw them from the car window?
Yeah, I saw him.
I could see she was getting increasingly paranoid about journalists coming near her property. But maybe she had cause to be.
De stof Ibogaïne dat zij voorschrijft om mensen snel te laten afkicken. Deze Sarah geeft een paar boerderijen in Kokenge aan haar cliënten, omdat het ze zou helpen snel van hun verslag. Het Openbaar Ministerie neemt het Sarah G. het meest kwalijk. Die nacht loopt hij in verwarde toestand hier de snelweg op. Wordt geschept door een vrachtwagen en overlijdt.
Dat mensen zouden genezen. Die heeft mensen willen helpen.
Met de voorwaarde dat ze haar Iboga-behandelingen stopzet.
2 weeks ago, the police came to my house with a search warrant, and they thought I'm hiding dead bodies in my garden. People who died here under the Iboga treatment.
Yeah.
And instead of calling the ambulance or some services to help me with the dead bodies, I buried them all over the place. So all of my garden is full of dead bodies, you know. Those people have great imagination.
So as if some junkie had come here for treatment and it had gone wrong.
That's
he
right.
died.
He died, and I buried him in my garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of mental psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to make. That's why they call me witch, you know.
The people that have died, what would you say about the people that have died whilst around the time of taking Ibogaine or Iboga?
Well, they had a health issue they didn't know about. One had a brain tumor. It's the last chance, you know. They're standing at the cliff and someone is telling them, I'll pay you money, just try this thing. Maybe it will save you. I don't want anybody to die. I help them so they don't die. And now they tell me, oh, you want to kill people on purpose. But they lost their mind.
I met a guy who wanted to speak up for Sarah. Ronald had been helped by her with an Iboga treatment a couple of years before. I never saw him without his dark glasses on.
Absolutely. Elsa would be dead right now.
You're planning to kill yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was in the last stages of planning, and I just wanted one more thing. I wanted to go to Sarah's place. She gave me the test dose.
Yeah.
But the test dose turned out to be much more than I ever would imagined.
Yeah.
So the test dose was the full on thing for me.
Yeah.
So I had what I wanted. I had what I wished for, and it was hard, but it was worth it.
And this is a spirit ancestor? What did you see it as that was talking to you?
Oh yeah, but I will go so far that it's God Himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is always a fight between good and evil, and that will always be there, and you have to take sides. You know, you can fight. You can just say, okay, let the pharmaceutical earn their own big money, and let the people take methadone for the rest of their lives and antidepressants for the rest of their lives. And I know how to help them, but I'm not going to do it because other people think. I don't give a fuck what other people think. They're just people. They're like dust in the wind, you know?
What do you think, Ronald?
Well, I think she's a celebrity now.
Celebrity?
Yeah. The Iboga celebrity. First, she was the Iboga mama. Now, she is the Iboga celebrity.
2 weeks later, Ronald completely flipped out. The media reports got him believing that Sarah was a witch. He turned up at her house, broke windows, and threatened her with a kitchen knife.
28 a.m. Hi David, it's Bradley. Fucking hell, what an injustice I'm doing to myself.
After I got back from Holland, there were a load of phone messages from Bradley.
Carrying on like that will go one way. I'll lose my home, I'll lose my family, and it'll be another very sad fucking tale.
It seems like he's opted for a more traditional form of detox in a residential rehab.
Yeah, I've got my head screwed back on again. I want to live, I want to be creative, and it's just crushed me in every sense.
Despite the fact he had opted not to do an Iboga treatment, Bradley wanted to meet up and tell me about his experiences of living drug-free.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
What's that?
You.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
My God, it's good to see you.
Howdy, friend, howdy.
You're looking great.
I felt a bit guilty that I'd inadvertently put him off taking Iboga with the lurid footage I'd shown him.
The guy's holding the camera.
I would never have thought beyond my wildest dreams that I could be here now. I thought I was going to die there.
I thought it was a possibility as well.
Yeah, Richard's dead. Richard's dead.
What?
Yeah, he died.
Richard's dead?
Yeah, Richard died. I found out.
Oh,
Yeah, he died. He went to hospital with 2 collapsed lungs and pneumonia, and then he got organ failure and he died. Yeah.
Did you just find that out recently?
Yeah, just recently. Yeah. Real
God.
shame because he was a lovely guy. And,
I really liked him.
yeah.
It was just, I mean, it was a nice, he had a nice nature.
Absolutely. Even though his drug consumption was chaotic,
Yeah.
he didn't lose the plot too much. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, he was still, you could feel his pleasant personality.
Absolutely, his authentic self still managed
Yeah.
to get through all that chemical haze.
Yeah.
Everything I said I would never do, I ended up doing them. I would never inject in my groin. I did. I would never inject in the neck. I did. I would never do some of the things I've done, but I did. I felt I had no choice. I was snatching handbags in the latter parts of my using, which I'm deeply ashamed about, but it happened, and if I could ever find them people to make amends with them, I would. In my insanity, I would often say, this won't happen to me. I was the type of thought I could kill myself and still go on. That's the insanity, you know. Yeah, I could die today, but somehow on another level, I think I can still go on. Well, this is the Iboga.
Bradley had a little surprise for me. He'd actually been using microdoses of Iboga and Ibogaine to help find stability in his life.
You're using this stuff therapeutically.
Absolutely.
As part of your recovery program.
Absolutely, to bolster it and put some wheels on it.
How are you finding it?
I'm finding it very helpful. Very helpful.
Really?
For example, the other night I had a microdose I was sitting, laying down on reflection, listening to some calming, positive affirmation-based meditation, and I just for a bit of exposure therapy, I decided, look, how would I visualised some tinfoil and some heroin and some crack, just waiting to go. And my initial thoughts was, that would be a really, really, really bad idea. And if that's not the desire removed, I don't know what is. I am no longer waking up on a morning wanting to die, racked with fear, thinking, where the hell am I going to get my next fix from? I need it. And then consequently, sometime that day, end up stabbing myself in purgatory, telling myself I'm okay.
Well, let's see. Well, that's good you're painting again.
Oh, yeah.
I was glad he'd sorted his life out, but it meant I had to find someone else who was intending to do a full Iboga treatment. Then I met up with a guy called Sid Skid, a performance artist and musician with a very damaging drug addiction. He'd come across me through watching my documentary online, and he'd told me of his intention to do a full flood dose of Ibogaine and Iboga.
My self-done tattoos.
All right, let's have a look at that. Let me see. You did those yourself? Mm-hmm. Oh, were they Hindu symbols or something?
Yeah. I'm not a Nazi.
I know you're not a Nazi, it's a Hindu symbol.
The amount of people that say, oh, you're a Nazi. These are the most, ones I get the most stick for.
Oh, right.
Walking down the street with. I'm like, what on earth is that? A Jewish swastika. And it's the peace symbol.
Yeah.
It's not,
yeah, it would be a bit bizarre to be a Jewish Nazi.
Yeah.
But then again,
and
the world.
Gay.
And you're gay.
I'm definitely not a Nazi.
No, I know you're not a Nazi.
They're nice in their uniforms, though, the German soldiers.
Yeah.
I'm prescribed 600 milligrams of MST a day.
So what's MST?
It's morphine slow release. It's kind of prescribed to people with cancer, terminal illnesses. You cook it, and as it cools, the wax literally floats to the surface, and you can sort of skim it off.
All right.
Obviously, wax getting into your veins and your capillaries is really dangerous, but it's also, they also bind it with talc.
This stuff's killing you, really. It could kill you.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
You think it?
Totally.
I mean, you're a young guy now. You're in your early 30s, but within 10 years, that stuff's bound to have damaged you.
I think if I did it for 10 years, I would be dead. The slow release morphine. To get around the slow release, you have to break down the wax matrix, basically. So just scrape the coating off, a tiny bit of salt, grind it down to as fine as I can, 5 mils water, turn the hob on. It just to below boiling, basically.
What happens if it boils? Does it destroy it?
It destroys the morphine, yes.
Now, boiling this mixture up.
Yeah, that goes in. You can already see the wax sticking to the outside. And then into the freezer. This has always been the way that I've found the most effective. Riveting TV. That's cold. So back to the hob. I started doing it because they were underdosing me at the SAU. I wasn't on a dose high enough to stop me from being in withdrawal every day, and researched ways to, make the morphine stronger or make it last longer, and this was pretty much what came out of the Google results. Most of the advice is not to do it, but
yeah.
it's the safest way to do it if you are going to do it. Right, so should we go and do this? Yeah. Cool.
Sid was after the morphine high he got from the concoction he was injecting every day. The downside was that the habit was slowly killing him.
So I've been going in my groin for 2 years.
Wax from the tablets still got into his bloodstream and ended up collecting in his lungs and other organs.
That's it. It still makes you feel good.
Yeah. Of course it does. I don't think it ever won't. There was loads of stuff going on when I was a kid, and I was a really sensitive kid. I'm really, really sensitive, and I internalise everything, and I take it out on myself. And I've seen the state of my arms from cutting my arms over the years. And, I mean, this is nothing compared with some cuts I've seen on some people. I'll leave in these.
Oh my God! Right, yeah.
No, that's what I used to do when I was a teenager before I got into.
It's quite serious cuts then, if they're
piercing.
After all those years.
Piercing and tattooing was my way out, really, my productive sort of alternative to doing that. I know.
This shit's gonna kill you. You know it. It is killing you. Your lungs are getting destroyed by that stuff. And what I mean, presumably it goes to your liver and kidneys or God knows where else. I mean, if this flat wax and chalk is floating around your body, God knows where it ends up. Okay.
I was a heroin addict from 17. I had some. I was sexually abused when I was 11.
Yes, and how that you told me earlier about that, and that really, you think that was the.
That was definitely the catalyst,
the major event in your life that changed you forever.
Yeah, because I was only 11 and I hadn't had any. I wasn't even pubescent. So I didn't have any. I had no contact with sex. Didn't know what sex was, what love was, anything like that. And my first contact was being raped by a man at 11. So it took me a lot of years to work through all that.
Yeah.
And I'm 32 now, and I think I've pretty much come to terms with it now, but it's taken that long. I don't think paedophiles realise quite how much they mess kids' lives up.
And this guy got off with it as well.
Yeah, it was my word against his. He got away with it. I got nothing, apart from a fucked up life. Just making the room dark. Yeah, become really hypersensitive to light and noise.
It was midday, and Sid took an initial test dose of Iboga to see if he'd have an allergic reaction.
Oops, right.
Are you starting to feel the effects of that stuff?
Must be. Nothing visually or anything, but I'm a bit wobbly. 12 o'clock, wasn't it? I took my 12 o'clock test dose.
This was going to be a self-treatment. He'd done meticulous research into Iboga and had worked out a timetable of when the capsules had to be taken.
1 cap for 200, 2 caps. That's
caps.
That's 600 milligram total, and I want to get to about 1200 altogether.
And should be doing the blood pressure and heart rate around the same time then?
Yeah, every half hour from now.
Despite Sid's preparations, I knew that I was going to be acting as his provider and carer. I would be checking his pulse rate, blood pressure, and giving the capsules at the right times.
2 or 3 hours, so if we say 3 to 4.
This is now an hour and a half after your test dose, and you're feeling no sense of withdrawal.
No, nothing.
What's this you've got now?
I'm just about to take 400 milligrams of HDL, and I'm chucking in 200 milligrams of TA as well, the alkaloids. this is just for the initial one to try and get me up a bit, and then after that I'll be doing tiny doses all the way through.
This was the real start of the treatment. Sid had taken a stronger dose of Iboga mixed with the more raw form of the drug, Iboga.
118 over 69, 64. So my heart rate's definitely dropping.
What's your heart rate?
Yeah, it was 74 this morning before anything. Now, an hour or so ago it was 68, and now it's 64.
64?
Mm. So it's dropping. You can't sleep with me, Puck. No. Oh.
All right. So that says 120 over 65 and 57.
Pulse.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Alright.
You actually are okay.
I'm fine.
I'll put these into the graph, okay?
I can feel when I close my eyes I can see visions. And
It's not disturbing you?
no, not at all. No, they're really good. It's like I keep getting the same few things coming into my vision.
Are they abstract, or do they mean anything?
They're totally abstract.
Totally abstract.
But they seem to be telling me that I'm safe and I'm loved and I'm alright.
Oh, really?
Mm.
What do you?
3 hours into the treatment, I give Sid his next dose.
This water. Have you got water there?
Yeah.
You got some there? How that go? I'm directly involved in this here.
I just need I don't know what I need.
Yeah, you're getting confused.
Yeah, really confused.
You need to do this yourself, though. So I'm putting it in your hand. Can you feel that?
Oh yeah, cool. So it's 3 o'clock now.
Yeah.
It's 3 o'clock, so it's 3 o'clock. Another 200 milligrams of
HCl
whoops.
Ibogaine.
Mm.
So there I was, acting as Sid's Iboga provider.
Okay.
I knew what he was going through, and I knew the dangers involved. It was going to be a long night ahead.
Take your time. Take your time.
Under the influence of Iboga, the addict usually suffers extreme ataxia.
Just take your time.
It's like being incredibly drunk.
Take your time, my friend. Okay? Yeah. Exactly what I was like. Okay. Okay. It's kind of there. Is that all right? Look.
I can't focus.
Yeah.
You've got like 20 fingers. I don't know what you're tearing at.
Really, you're.
Fucking your face. That's what I am.
I've been keeping an eye on Sid and his statistics. It seemed pretty good. We got to give him 200 more milligrams in about an hour's time, I think. And he should be well underway with the experience by that time. He seems still quite lucid enough to chat to. He was definitely tripping on the stuff. No signs of withdrawal, and it seems to be going very well at the moment. Can you get that in? Give me that. It's 52 now.
That
that's pretty much the bottom you can go at is 50.
Yeah, well, it's not there yet, but listen.
With his heart rate continuing to go down, I knew this was a concern. It couldn't afford to go much lower.
Is it good or bad?
Is what good or bad?
The experience. Are you enjoying it?
I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it. But
It's bearable.
it's bearable, it's fine.
It's better than morphine withdrawal.
It's a million times better.
No, not for you.
No, for me.
Yeah. Put it in your mouth. You're gonna be able to do this since you can coordinate, can you?
"50 beats a minute. That was as low as we thought was safe. Anything lower than this was going to be a real problem.
You're down for another one at midnight. Your last one. Do you think you need another one? Do you feel any withdrawal? No? Well, I think you should leave it off. I think you should leave off because look, your heart, I'm just a bit concerned because you've got a low pulse at the moment at 50, and we can't afford to go under that, you know that. So it's your treatment, but I suggest that we leave off that other capsule of Iboga just now. Right, it's the end of day 1 for Sid, and he is sleeping soundly. No twitching on his legs, as far as I can see. No withdrawal symptoms.
It's well into the next day, and the treatment is still continuing.
It's now 2:15 on Friday. I can see you're tired out.
I felt exhausted.
Exhausted. That's part of the process, isn't it? With the Iboga.
Yeah.
2 days after your last morphine, starting your treatment, you're not withdrawing. And I think that's incredible.
No, not
You
at all.
should be in a hell of a state.
Oh yeah, I'll be at the peak of it now.
Yeah. You took some more Iboga.
Yeah.
Alright, just be cool. My God, it's at 47 beats.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
But you're still alive.
I was sort of told anything much lower than 45.
Anything lower than 45?
Yeah, 50's like a good. You know, you don't want to go any lower than 50.
You just have. You've gone to 47.
I know I have. Maybe that's why I feel like I haven't got any life in me. I haven't got any.
Well, I guess it would, yeah. It's slowing you right down.
Mm.
I don't think you should take any more Ibogaine right now, though.
With his heart rate at 47 beats per minute, I really worried about continuing the treatment.
Alright, mummy. I'm alright. I got through it alright. I'm struggling all my life with this fucking disease. All I've tried to do is try and get clean and stay clean, and it's so fucking hard. Don't blame yourself. don't even know what it was that started it. I was just far too sensitive for my own good as a kid, and a lot of shit things happened to me when I was growing up. Really screwed me. Lots of regrets and pain.
Yeah.
It's now 5 days after Sid had his last hit. With such a heavy habit, he should be in hellish withdrawal.
The fifth day after my last hit, yeah, I hadn't had a hit for 5 days.
Yeah.
So I'm taking some extract boosters today just to keep the ibogaine levels up in my system and
Oh, can I see that?
keep the cravings away, etc. It should. Although I'm not feeling any cravings, no withdrawal symptoms, nothing at all. I'm just taking it to be safe. So, down the hatch.
Down the hatch. Okay, well that's good. I'm leaving you at that on day 5 after.
Cool.
Day 4/5. It had been a textbook treatment, and I couldn't believe how well it had all gone. But I knew that the true test was in staying off for more than a few days. Sid's habit was a heavy one.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
And I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd started using again as soon as I was gone.
Cheers now.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye.
So I pay him a visit several months later to see how he's doing.
Hi, Bucky. Hello.
That's good.
Pretty good for 20 quid.
Yeah.
20 quid would have gone on a bag of gear.
Yeah, now you've got
Now I've got a helicopter. I don't think you realise it at the time. It's like you seem to think you're invincible, you know, injecting.
You were in a
fuels.
really bad way when I first met you, and I'm really pleased that you've stopped that habit, and that's.
Oh, I had to. But I don't think anything else would have made me stop, really. Although I didn't get all the visions and my life, my childhood kind of before my eyes and all that stuff people report. Like I didn't get any of that, but physically it took the withdrawal away, and then afterwards it took a lot of cravings away. And my behaviour's definitely changed. Like I was really fiending for crack and snowballs before. I couldn't stop doing it. Like,
yeah.
And I don't want to do that anymore. Just don't. That urge to do that constantly is gone.
It's just been a joy to see this happening.
Cool.
I'm really pleased.
No, that's
I'm
really good.
pleased.
Everything's
I'm
good.
really, really pleased for you, man. It had been a textbook treatment indeed. Sid was in a much happier place and looking forward to building a career in music therapy. Iboga is not an easy option and not the magic bullet to end addiction. But for people like Sid, the potential benefits outweigh the downside. Seeing how Iboga changed his life had convinced me more than ever that it can work.